I think some of the traditional ways of doing sport is not very attractive to young boys and girls at the moment, and I think we need to look at how we organize our sport to be able to make it more interesting for them. Two, I think we need to find digital ways of enhancing the experience of sport.
When we do design for sport and movement, we have a challenge on having a high retention rate. Therefore, we have looked into how we can use movement as a design resource. And we base that on the cognitive theories, and traditional cognition is in the brain, but in the embodied cognition approach, we know that cognition is extended to the physical world, it is embedded in our social world, and it is inactive. So movement and action create our perceptions, and perception often also create our movement. And the embodied cognition, this is the 4E, is extended to the 5th E by having an emotive perspective as well. And that is our emotion for the social and physical world, and it is our gut feelings or intuition. All this is interconnected in the way we approach cognition. And this is the way we also perceive that creativity with movement is an option.
We just finished a workshop where we try to apply movement-based design methods that we explore and develop in the Megamind project to a particular use case, a simple piece of technology where children move and hit buttons, and that's used to play learning games. So the technology is quite straightforward, and the learning can be anything. But our specific goal was to see how these creative movement-based methods, body storming, embodied sketching, can be used to find completely new ways of using these buttons. I mean, it's a button that you can hit, but it doesn't have to be on the floor. It can be on the wall, or it can be hidden under a table, or you can just hold it and smash it against your hand or smash it against somebody else. These are all ways of interacting with the button. And specifically the kind of design methods that we try out in Megamind are used to come up with such different creative ideas of moving in some kind of application, some kind of purpose. So that's the first half of the workshop, was going really creative and getting people to discover all these different ways with which you can use a simple button, and really going beyond the simple button paradigm. And then the second part is to turn it back into the application purpose, which is something with learning numbers, learning computational thinking, learning whatever, letters, language, words, learning scientific names for body parts, and then see how that can be combined with the novel interaction mechanics that we developed in the first half of the workshop to come up with a cohesive learning game that teaches you something. And we tried this out with a lot of people who did not know anything about these methods and also didn't know anything about the technology. And it was very interesting to watch how these methods actually get them to think differently and to come up with novel ideas that neither they, maybe nor the owner of the technology had expected. And when you look at sports, you can say we make something to teach people to perform better, to become a better athlete. That's a superficial thing to pursue. But you can also ask the question, what is it that people want from sport? So how does sport become meaningful in their lives? And it may be because it gives them a sense of something to strive for, something to become really good at, pushing boundaries. But for some people, for many people actually, sport is just something to do and feel good, right? So it's a pleasant experience, a nice thing to engage with, and not so much for a purpose of being the best in the world or breaking performance boundaries. So it's always important to kind of go back to the question, what does it really mean for the human who is employing your technology or who is active in the context that you're exploring? What are the fundamental values? What is it that people what is it that people desire in life?